Hi guys and welcome to my channel, Crafty Fox Lifestyle with Shelly Lynn. I'm Shelly and today I just want to talk a little bit about the frustrations of life as you grow older. Um, I can remember when my mother used to tell me things and I was young and you know, you didn't understand what she was trying to tell you at that point. You just didn't get it. She used to tell me, I used to be able to tolerate noise and stuff, and now I can't. I can't tolerate the kids running around the house and screaming and making noises, and I just can't take it. And at the time, I didn't understand because I had little ones, and sorry, I had little ones, and noise didn't bother me. A lot of things didn't bother me. You think things bother you, but you don't realize how much things bother you until you get older. Let me tell you. Age has a way of putting things into a different perspective. And yeah, so I can't tolerate nonsense. I have I have a low tolerance for nonsense. I have a low tolerance for um, people who can't do their job. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be this way. But if you're my age or older, I'm a 50 something Gen Xer. You know what I'm talking about. You understand. And I'm talking to these people. I mean, this channel's for anybody who wants to listen, but mostly I'm talking to you. I'm talking to people like me and people who understand where I'm coming from. So, speaking of not being able to tolerate nonsense and everything, my daughter has three kids. One's older, and then she's got a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old. So a couple days ago, and I already did a video on this subject, and I'm a little annoyed with YouTube because it took so long to upload that YouTube finally just canceled the upload. This stuff happens with YouTube. It's a struggle, believe it or not. They make it sound easy. I mean, it can, in theory, it's easy, but anyway, I already made a video on this, but I'm going to do it again because it really annoyed me. So anyway, me and my husband, my daughter, and her two kids. The oldest one was working and her husband was working. So it was the five of us. And we went to McDonald's. Now, normally I don't like to go to McDonald's. I don't really care for their junk food, which basically it is crappy food. But this time it was like 7:30 at night. I had been working late. My husband was complaining that he was hungry, and I said, "Well, let's go with our daughter and the girls because they'd had a rough day. Their 15-year-old Yorkie, Shorkie, it's a Shih Tzu Yorkie mix, had passed away, and everybody was upset. So it was a struggle. So we decided we would go to McDonald's. Now, there are two McDonald's in my area. One of them is 2 minutes from my house, and then I have another that's about 8 minutes from my house. Usually I go to the one that's about 8 minutes from my house, and I go to the further one because I get better service there. To be quite honest, one that's 2 minutes from my house, the customer service there sucks. And I know you're going to say, well, it's fast food. I understand that. But, but, let me finish telling the story. So my husband and I get there a couple minutes before, maybe not even a couple minutes, just a little bit before my daughter and the girls get there. And we walk in and we have to order from a kiosk. Now, you don't have to order from the kiosk if you can get somebody's attention at the counter, which is rare at this McDonald's. Again, I don't know that every McDonald's is like this. I don't have trouble with the one down the road, but anyway, so we order from the kiosk, we get our number, we go sit down. My daughter comes in, she comes in while we're ordering and she starts her order and she goes and she sits down. 25 minutes later, they bring my husband and I our food. We're sitting there eating and we're thinking, okay, good, the kids' food is going to be here soon. Now, they've had a bad day. Their pet dog died. They're hungry. They're emotional. They're all these things. And to be quite honest with you, they did well. They did really well. They did better than I did because I was getting annoyed. So my husband and I are almost finished our meals and still nothing. Now, this whole time, the Drive-through is not full. There's nobody in the drive-through. There's nobody in the store. Okay. So finally, I take my daughter's receipt and I go up to the counter and I say to the girl, "Can you tell me where my order is?" "Oh, we're working on it." So I look back there and if you've ordered from McDonald's, when they're working on your order. There's a tray out there and you can say, "Okay, that's my Happy Meal. That's my they're working on it, okay?" There was no tray out. There was nothing. They were not working on her meals at all. At all. They had a big bag there for DoorDash, which I don't have anything against DoorDash, but nobody was there to pick it up. So finally, my daughter comes up and she goes, "I just want my money back. We've been waiting here for over 35 minutes and my kids are hungry. We've had a really rough day." She was nice. She was way nicer than I was going to be. And she asked me to stand down. So I did. So she asked the girl for a manager. The manager comes out and she says, "I'm so sorry. We're so busy." And I was like, "Busy doing what?" I did say that under my breath. And she did hear me. And she said, "Well, we have all these orders coming in." And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's fine. But shouldn't you be taking care of the people that are already here? The people that have ordered their food 35 minutes ago? Um, my daughter kept kicking me, telling me not to say anything, so she got a refund. And that's another thing that annoys me about things. You can go buy something, you can buy it right now today. They'll take it out of your debit card, they'll take it out of your account immediately. But when they go to put it back, oh, it's going to take 5 to 7 business days, my friend. Yes, 5 to 7 business days. Well, it should take 5 to 7 business days before it comes out of my account then. That's just a whole nother thing that gets me ticked off. Again, I think it has something to do with age. I used to kind of go with the flow. I have a hard time with it now. I have a hard time. I really do. I think it's with age. Like I said, I'm an over 50 Gen Xer. I can't tolerate what I feel is just not right. I can't. It's funny. My husband and I have a joke now. We go out and it's like, it's two people out here. We need to go home before somebody offends me. I'm sorry. But anyway, so she she was so upset. The kids were upset. They were crying as we left, right? The manager is an older woman. She's probably older than me, my age or older. And she says, "Well, we're really busy." And I'm like, and we're working with what we've got. And I'm looking there and there's like two or three people standing around back there on their phones. And I'm thinking to myself, no, no, just no, right? So she gives my daughter some coupons and she says, "What are you going to do for your kids now? Are you going to feed them?" That was the last straw. My husband had to drag me out of the store, out of the restaurant, because I was ready. Well, when my daughter came out, I said, "What did you say to that woman?" And she said, "I told her, of course I'm going to feed them. I'm taking them home and making them a meal." How dare she insinuate that we weren't going to feed the kids because they had already waited 35 minutes for meals that were crap, in my opinion. They're just crap. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you have a hard time handling people's, I don't even know what to call it. I understand. Now let me just say, I understand that other people have hard days as well. Maybe that lady was having a hard day. Maybe she was. I'll give her that. But still, you have a job to do. Um, my dad used to always tell me, you got to make a practice of not taking your job home and not taking home to your job. And I know that that's easier said than done. I know. And the lady didn't look hurried or harried or whatever word you want to use. She didn't look like she was hustling. As a matter of fact, the whole time I never saw her. I saw a little girl up front moving around, and then I saw another girl in the back on her phone. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm being too hard. I just feel like that if you're hired to do a job, you should do that job and you should try to do it well. And I feel like so many people don't anymore. And I have seen comments on certain videos where younger people will say, well, I don't get paid enough to care. And, when I started working in the 80s, um, it that wasn't the way it was. You did your job and you did it to the best. My parents always taught me your work ethic is a reflection of you, of who you are. If you're bad and it, at if you have no work ethic, it carries over to the rest of your life. It just becomes who you are. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but my tolerance for BS has hit its limit. Yep. It has to do with age. I'm looking at retirement, trying to figure out how I'm going to get that done, but you know, here we are. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe and leave a comment. Be nice. You can have a different opinion than I have. You're welcome to it, but we don't have to get ugly. Okay? Thank you. Have a great day.